Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another video. Today we will be talking about Chivalry 2, which was unveiled last night during E3 and the PC gaming show. Now the interesting thing here is that we're going to be talking about everything we know about Chivalry 2, and we're also going to be speculating a little bit, but the speculations will come later in the video. So let's dive straight into the goddamn news about Chivalry 2. We know that Chivalry 2 will be coming early 2020, which is pretty damn nice. We also know that development on Chivalry 2 started in early spring of 2017, and I got this wrong in my last video yesterday, but one of the big things here is that the graphics look like they are from 2012, from Chivalry Medieval Warfare. And it's going to be interesting to see how Chivalry 2 is going to look at a finished state. Then again, their trailer seemed a bit rough put together, as there's a part where you can see the sword about to hit someone in the face and decapitate them, and before the sword connects, the head is already off on its mission, flying away from the planet body it was usually known to. Tonbana Studios are now under a publisher by Tripwire Interactive. These people have posted, or should I say published, games like Rising Storm. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Rising Storm is a great game, so I think Tripwire is going to be a good publisher for Tonbana Studios. Now, Chivalry 2 has done one thing different from Chivalry 1 Medieval Warfare, and that is that they have revamped the scale of the game in multiplayer, where it's bigger, more people going in there, dying, and they revamped the combat system. They've also added mounted combat, horses, such like that, and they've added a more sandboxy feel to the maps, which means that there's more things to interact with, grabbing things, you can find more stuff around. One thing that's interesting that they mention on their FAQ site is, for example, catapult a corpse across the field, improvise a new fighting style with pitchforks or tomatoes. That sounds like you can go grocery shopping in the local market outside of the castle, kill a peasant and grab his corpse, either grab it or stab it onto the catapult and launch that corpse into the castle, Lord of the Rings style. Chivalry 2 is also adding more customization, which is going to be pretty interesting to see if they're going to stick with a class system or if they're going to go the Mordhau route, where you can create your custom soldier however you want. You can have an archer with super heavy plated armor, and only that, only a bow on plated armor. We're going to see how this is going to evolve. Then again, this isn't very described on their website, but we're probably going to see some more news on that later down the line. Chivalry 2 also has an interesting thing that they mention on their website, which is battered and bloodied. Keep fighting with missing limbs, or even if down and gasping your last breath. Chivalry 2 is about the feeling of survival against the odds, and if you go down, the opportunity to make it a glorious death. When I read text like this, in my head I get that movie scene where somebody's getting shot with an arrow. They break it off and they run forwards and they cut someone down, and then they get another arrow in the other shoulder, and then they slowly walk forwards trying to kill the archers as more and more arrows just pepper them down and they fall to the ground, dead. But they did try heroically to fight to the last end. And this is going to be interesting to see, because I have a feeling you're going to have these horror moments as an archer where you shoot a guy crawling up the wall, he gets up, and as he's about to strike you, he falls over, or he strikes you and then falls over as he has killed you. And this is pretty interesting because it could potentially add some dynamic gameplay. Now, let's take a little bit of a look into the combat of Chivalry 2, which is kind of interesting. Tonbana is revamping the combat from Chivalry 1, and here is where it gets a bit interesting. A normal left click will do a swing, like in Mordhau. Holding down this attack button will make a heavy attack. So you could hold down the mouse button to get a heavier strike, I presume. And this is a bit interesting in the way that this could also be used to put people off. Chivalry 2 does not have any chambering in the game, but they do have heavy attacking, and they still have some feinting, but they have revised feinting from Chivalry 1. So it's going to be a little bit more of some, I guess, more heavier mind games you can play with your enemies and give some more layers of control to the master swordsman. Tonbana also mentions that they have added a variety of new attack types and adjusted the flow of combat to be more natural, flowing, faster and dynamic. And one thing that is a bit weird about this is that in the trailer it doesn't look natural, it looks realistic maybe, but not very flowing. It looks faster, that's for sure. Dynamic, debatable. So far we have barely seen any gameplay, or if that was gameplay, I wonder why the hell they showed it. They should have just had a cinematic trailer from a view above or something, but then again, this is Chivalry 2. I mean, they choose exactly how they want to show it themselves. Chivalry 2 has also removed the ballerina moves. Ballerina moves are hell and demon spawn, so don't even think about it. It's not going to be a problem in Chivalry 2. Now, we also know that it will come to Steam. Chivalry 2 will be on Steam a year after its release on Epic. So if you're a Steam user and you don't like the Epic Games Launcher, then the release date is more like early 2021. Now, this is going to be a bit interesting to see how that develops. Now, in some of the speculation, we're going to look at some of the screenshots they have posted to their website, which you can see if you go to the media tab on their nice and beautiful website. Right, so the first screenshot we're going to look at is this one, the cavalrymen attacking the paw foot soldiers. And as you can see, we can already see a spear, a short sword, and a rounded shield, two-handed sword. Right, in this image alone with the cavalrymen, we can almost instantly spot that there are classes. There are an archer on the far left, there's an archer on the right middle, and you can see that the guy on the horse in the middle looks like a man-at-arms, while the two on the left and right horsemen look like knights. You can see that the armor is a lot lighter on the man-at-arms. Then again, the man on the corner on the left looks like he is kind of, yeah, he's a man-at-arms. What am I talking about? But you can also see that some of these people don't have helmets, and this is going to be interesting to see if that customization that Chivalry 2 has can have an effect on stats, like Mordhau does. And just to mention it, the guy in the middle, the red guy falling over, he has an arrow in his back, so he clearly got team killed, and it was probably me playing during this screenshot being taken. Now, it's also going to be interesting to see as a spearman if you can crouch down and deploy your spear so it will kill a horse automatically. Now, that would be pretty cool, and of course interesting. The second image we're going to look at is the other cavalry image, and here we can see more like classical chivalry. We can see a lot of knights riding in, one man-at-arms, two men-at-arms, some vanguards on the far left and in the far right. It looks like there's going to be classes, because a lot of times here in these screenshots we're going to see people who look like they have a class. They don't look like they were customized to look that way, and the reason why I say that is because if you see the guys with the heavy helmets usually have heavier armor, and the guys with lighter helmets usually have lighter armor, which is interesting, but still, we don't really know exactly for sure. But most likely, it is like that. Now, the last image we're going to look at is these knights pulling their swords, and you can see the knight in the middle has a massive shield on his back. Unless, this can't be a shield, or is it? Can he, like, take off with that thing? Can he deploy wings and fly off? Is he Woodman? Not Iron Man, but Wooden Man, so that thing becomes his entire suit? I am not entirely sure. But as you can see, it looks like most of these have classes. You don't see a big variety mix. If there's a knight, they look a little bit different, but you can tell that the knight is in the middle, the knight is on the right of him, and there looks like there's a man-at-arms to his left, or our left of him, and another knight. It looks like the knights have the closed and pretty full face covering helmets. Then again, I can't tell for sure, but we can see some nice weapons here. But quickly, back to that first image. The red guy attacking the horse with his massive sword also has a mace on his hip. Now, this could mean that you have an ability to build a bit of a loadout with your class, and you can also see that the spearman on the far left also has a second sword of some sorts on his hip as well. Then again, we don't know, but hopefully there's going to be some more news about Chivalry 2 in the near future. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click a like down below, subscribe, and hit those notifications to be sure to be informed on everything that is nice, and some funny videos hopefully here and there. I am Bin the Turtle, and I have enjoyed your company, and hopefully you have enjoyed mine. Until the next video, hopefully you're having a good breakfast, or dinner, or lunch. Until the next meal, bye bye.